Why the book of Isaiah is the most terrifying book in the Bible. The revelation may shock you. Journey into biblical prophecy. The vision that changed everything. Picture this. It's approximately 740 years before Christ. The kingdom of Judah stands on the precipice of disaster. In the royal courts of Jerusalem, a young man named Isaiah receives a vision so overwhelming, so terrifying, that it would reshape not only his life, but the entire trajectory of biblical prophecy. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and exalted, Isaiah writes. But this wasn't just any vision of God's glory. What Isaiah witnessed in that temple vision was a glimpse into the very heart of divine judgment, and it was more terrifying than anything the ancient world had ever conceived. The seraphim's terrifying message. 6 winged beings surrounded God's throne, crying out words that would echo through eternity. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of His glory. The temple shook at their voices. Smoke filled the sanctuary. And Isaiah? He was convinced he was about to die. Woe to me, I am ruined, he cried, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. But this was only the beginning of Isaiah's terrifying journey into prophetic revelation. The judgment that shakes nations. What makes Isaiah so uniquely frightening isn't just its vivid descriptions of divine wrath, it's the scope of its judgments. This isn't a local disaster or a temporary setback. Isaiah prophesies the complete destruction of entire civilizations, the reduction of mighty cities to rubble, and the scattering of peoples across the earth. Consider chapter 13, where Isaiah prophesies against Babylon. See, the day of the Lord is coming, a cruel day with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land desolate and destroy the sinners within it. The stars of heaven and their constellations will not show their light. The rising sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light.
This isn't metaphorical language. This is cosmic judgment. The very heavens themselves will participate in God's wrath. The suffering servant's shocking revelation. But perhaps the most shocking aspect of Isaiah comes in chapters 52 and 53, where the prophet describes a figure so brutalized, so disfigured by suffering, that people can barely look upon him. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. Like one from whom people hide their faces, he was despised, and we held him in low esteem. For centuries, this passage puzzled Jewish scholars. Who could this suffering servant be? The description is so graphic, so disturbing, that it reads like a horror story. His appearance was so disfigured beyond that of any human being, and his form marred beyond human likeness. The day of the Lord, when heaven touches earth. Isaiah chapter 24 presents what biblical scholars call the little apocalypse, a preview of the end times that is absolutely terrifying in its scope. See, the Lord is going to lay waste the earth and devastate it. He will ruin its face and scatter its inhabitants. The prophet describes a day when the earth itself will be drunk like a staggering man, when it will sway like a hut in the wind, when the very foundations of creation will be shaken. The moon will be dismayed, the sun ashamed, because the Lord Almighty will reign with such overwhelming glory that even the celestial bodies pale in comparison. The Valley of Decision. In chapter 34, Isaiah describes God's judgment in terms that would make a horror novelist blush. For my sword has drunk its fill in the heavens. See, it descends in judgment. The Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Edom. Their land will be soaked with blood, and the dust will be saturated with fat. This isn't abstract theology. This is visceral, physical judgment that transforms entire landscapes into scenes of devastation. The new heavens and new earth. But here's where Isaiah becomes truly shocking. After 65 chapters of judgment, destruction, and divine wrath, the prophet suddenly pivots to describe something unprecedented in human history. See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. Never again will there be in it an infant who lives but a few days, or an old man who does not live out his years. The one who dies at 100 will be thought a mere child. This is the promise that makes Isaiah's terror meaningful, complete cosmic renewal, not just fixing what's broken, but creating something entirely new. The shocking truth about Isaiah's terror. Here's the revelation that may truly shock you. Isaiah isn't terrifying because God is cruel or arbitrary. Isaiah is terrifying because it reveals the absolute incompatibility between human sin and divine holiness. The judgments aren't capricious, they're inevitable consequences of moral choices that ripple across generations and nations. When Isaiah describes cities becoming desolate, nations falling, and the earth itself groaning under judgment, he's not describing God's anger as human anger. He's describing what happens when perfect justice finally arrives in a world that has grown comfortable with injustice. The ultimate revelation. The most shocking aspect of Isaiah may be this: every terrifying judgment, every cosmic catastrophe, every scene of devastation serves a single purpose: to clear the way for something so beautiful, so perfect, that the prophet struggles to find words adequate to describe it. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, the calf and the lion and the yearling together, and a little child will lead them. They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Why Isaiah matters today. Isaiah remains the most terrifying book in the Bible because it forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. The same God who promises new heavens and a new earth also declares that the current order of things cannot and will not stand forever. The prophet's visions remind us that history has a destination, that justice delayed is not justice denied, and that the God who offers redemption also demands it. Isaiah's terror serves Isaiah's hope, and that may be the most shocking revelation of all. In a world that often feels like it's spinning out of control, Isaiah provides both the most sobering warning and the most magnificent promise in all of Scripture. God will make all things new, but first, all things broken must be made right. The choice, Isaiah suggests, is not whether judgment will come, but whether we'll be among those who find refuge in the very God whose holiness makes that judgment inevitable.